Okay.
Hi, Matt.
Live already?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And now I just want to make sure we don't have that same problem.
I don't hear anything, so I don't think you have a browser window open.
Hi, Matt. Live already?
Yeah.
Okay.
We do have the same
There
problem.
There we go. There we go.
You got it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, we got it. We're live.
What's up, man?
Hey, brother.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I got really spoiled staying in that room for a week last week. Seeing you every day.
Yeah. It's a good room, and this room misses you, man. It was like, and then you turned it into like a way better room, right when you're leaving the house. You went on a crazy mission of organization and helped me make it all better. That was really nice.
Yeah. Well, I heard it carried through into the weekend, and D&K and Sharon came and blitzed the other room as well.
That's true. It's been a mad house of cleaning and organization around here that you started. And it's good for me because I get worried when my stuff starts getting moved around. I get because I've spent sometimes, in some cases, decades curating little boxes of things that I'm never going to open again, but I still have things that I know where they are, and I think they're very important.
Mm-hmm.
And then I pile them on top of other things, and I fill up a whole, like this room was half full of just little nooks and crannies of those kind of things, where it was like notebooks and, little boxes of baseball cards. And
I mean, if you don't know where your Phil Collins cassette tape is, like,
yes,
just that's very troubling to me if you don't know exactly where your Phil Collins tape is at all times.
Well, that was what was genius, is you brought up those clear storage boxes that you could see through.
Yeah,
that was the only reason I got confident. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be able to see right through into the inside of that box and see what's in there.
It's true. Brilliant. My wife says that you and she are very similar. She always tells me that. And that's how we organize everything. In the garage is just all clear boxes, so you just don't have to label anything. You just look in and you know exactly what it is. It's genius.
It's really good. And yesterday I was looking for my guitar tuner, and it was in one of the clear boxes, one of the pedal tuners, to take over to Zach's recording studio. And there it was, right there. Found it, picked it up, took it with me. Boom, boom,
one of the things that was already put away was already found?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's like the holy grail. That's like wheels on suitcases level shit right there.
That's right. It's genius.
That's awesome, man.
Suitcases that's good stuff. But I'm just,
well, bro.
Yeah.
Why are we here? Why are we doing this video?
Well, I don't know. Why wouldn't we? This was the way to spend time with the ones I love, and communicate to some of the other people that love and care about us and me. And through this project I'm starting to do, it's kind of, the cat is out of the bag in terms of, I had a pretty serious diagnosis, one of the most serious diagnoses you can get, which is stage 4 glioblastoma, brain cancer. You don't ready yourself for that one. It comes out of the blue, and it's been just a whirlwind. I mean, I'm having a hard time keeping track of just the days that have gone by since all this started, because it seems like things have progressed so fast, in terms of going from having seizures at work unexpectedly.
2 months ago yesterday.
2 months ago yesterday. Is that
July 24th, I think.
And now I've gone, in this 2 months, I've gone through so much. I've had brain surgery. I've gotten the diagnosis of the brain cancer. I'm now 1 week into chemo and radiation. Today will be my 5th day of radiation this morning. And we're like, it's like all my friends and family and loved ones have mobilized to support me, which has felt absolutely beyond amazing. I mean, just that's what's keeping me going and keeping me positive, is just the love and support of my friends and family, which is everything to me, everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're kind of going through this journey together, and I don't want to be alone on this journey. And I think that's what these phone calls are going to be about. It's kind of like touching base with those people that energize me, the people that keep me going. And also at the same time, I'm like, I know that it's really important. Even talking to some of the doctors, they got really excited that I had passion for stuff I do with my life, and they thought that was a real key element. And this music project that we're going to kind of use this YouTube channel to document the progress. Yeah, makes me really excited, and I can talk about it with people. I can show clips of the process of making this album, and who I'm making it with, and just share it, And I think that's part of what these conversations will be about, is just kind of sharing the process of going through what I'm going through, making this album, telling stories of the past, memories of the future, dreams. I don't know. We're going to throw everything at it. I know, man. I'm excited for everyone that loves and cares about you, or even is just interested in you and your whole circle, and this just sort of vortex of activity that you've been in the middle of, for 50 years, obviously your whole life, but then, in particular in Seattle and in the music and restaurant scene, and all of you guys being friends for, 27, 28 years now. And then the fact that your childhood friends that you've known for like 43, 44 years now, that those groups actually just kind of merged, and most of them kind of, know each other and have spent time with each other over the years. And there's all this like interesting cross connectivity, especially with you and Dave running parallel paths that whole time. It's just fascinating. And I think it's, I am so excited to just be able to watch a conversation and understand the relationship better that you have with someone like Forrest or Ian or Dylan or even Dave, even though I've seen you guys together and talked to both of you endless hours over the years. I'm never a fly on the wall when it's just you guys talking. Right. Yeah. And you often get a lot more insight when you're not the one participating. That's interesting. That's cool. I like that. Yeah. And then you think of like all our cousins that just like, all around the country, and, just being able to, essentially have hopefully tens of hours, hundreds of hours maybe of like Matty G screen time to just enjoy hanging out with you when you're comfortable and you're hanging out with your friends. Like that's the magic of media, It is. It's like, I kind of imagine it like just a no pressure conversation without an agenda can be really nice, and you just see where it goes. And we end up talking about the things that we would talk about if we were just on a phone call. Yeah. Just and the planning and the behind the scenes, and all that stuff can be really cool. Like and just I love talking about it anyway. So yeah, me too. Sharing it is just kind of a neat thing to do. It is. It's like one of my favorite podcasts I listen to is called Roderick on the Line. Uh-huh. And it's just it's two good friends that just talk to each other, and it's just there's never a plan, there's never an agenda. And Roderick is a local Seattle musician who ended up running for city council, and one of like for the year he was running for city council, like the podcast was a lot about that, because that's what he was doing. Sometimes it's just about raising a daughter or trying to buy a new house or trying to do whatever, like negotiating how to make a living as a musician, at this time or whatever. And I just find that it's about the honesty and the vulnerability that make it so intriguing to me. And it's just like, and even if it's just stories about childhood or whatever, you just kind of develop this relationship. And I think that kind of thing is really interesting.
Well, you've got a new song I've heard a couple of times now, which I know you've been tinkering with for years. Is it called California Bound?
It is now called, it is being called California Bound.
Okay.
Yeah.
I put that title on from the clip that Lily took, and it's getting some heat on Facebook and Instagram. I wasn't actually aware of your pop dancing skills and that you could sing at the same time as doing those moves.
You know who really inspires me is Lily. When Lily's around, my daughter, who's 20. Hi, Lily, if you're watching. She is like someone, for some reason, she's my favorite audience member. And I love to perform for her and make her laugh because her laughter is infectious. And if you watch that video of me rehearsing and dancing like a wild man, that laughter you hear is Lily's, and she's cracking up, and that just makes me go even more into it. So it's like fuel to my dance fire when that laughter is coming. And it's just, she has hundreds of videos of me just doing stuff like that, goofy dances and making up songs and stuff like that she's captured over the years. And she likes to post them on her Instagram story. There's like, you know, of just stuff stuff I do that makes her laugh. And what's funny is her friends she has a lot of Instagram followers.
Yeah.
And her friends in the wild see me doing stuff. I got recognized once at a Starbucks because
nice.
Because I went in to get my coffee, and the girl working behind the counter was like, "Are you Lily's dad?"
Nice.
I see you on Instagram. You're hilarious.
That's awesome.
It was super funny. I'm like, yeah, I am.
Oh man. Speaking of hilarity, I posted the last 3 minutes, but not the first 2 minutes. I have 2 clips of your and Dave's story of the tile job in Capitol Hill. And I thought the second clip was actually appropriate for public consumption. It's really good. But I think it's kind of funny, man. I love that this is about music and conversations.
Yeah.
Just because I think, you know, you're somewhere out there on the efficient frontier of like good musician and good conversationalist. Not everybody is both. And it would just be, you'd be missing a big piece of the story if it was just like only talking like our podcast was,
right.
Which maybe we'll do some more episodes of the Bright Orange Future. Shout out.
Yeah, Bright Orange Future.
Or if it was a channel like only about music, then you'd be missing out on like the whole reason for the music and the stories behind the music and all of this. So I just love combining the two because that's so you. I mean, you spent so many years talking to people socially and professionally for like 8 hours and then playing music for 4 hours.
True.
Day after day.
Yeah. Speaking of my long bartending career, which I mean, it's been really, really cool to see people that know me from that world and have heard about my diagnosis reach out to me and support me, and you know, tangibly too, with donations to my GoFundMe page to help with the expenses. I just was so moved beyond belief by some of the people reaching out to me, you know. And that feels so good. It's like, it just feels like all of those years of like, those were real. I think maybe why the connection was so real is like, as a bartender, you make real connections with customers. They become, you know, if you care and you meet interesting people, you work at a cool place, you meet some really interesting people and they become good friends, like real friends. and they care about you, and they come in, and it's like there's this whole relationship that is unique. You know, it's a unique job, and I did it pretty damn well for a really long run, and put in some serious hours, and you're also the host of a party at the same time, you know, so it's like every night. So
I've got to imagine it's really satisfying later in life to look at how you interact with people today and the types of people that you like to hang out with, and realize that for sure you weren't being fake when you were working, right? Like I would always wonder if I was like performing for tips or something like that in the service industry, but like I always knew you in space at the ballroom or the triangle. Like I knew that was just you.
Right.
And, you know, now years later, as all these people have continued to interact with you and you treat them the same as you always did, and you're actually maybe more entertaining because the reins are off and you're not like in a professional situation when you're not behind the bar, and it's like, oh shit. So he was like actually being tame when we were hanging out at the bar. It's I just think that's got to be satisfying to be out of that and still sort of feel the same about the people, and know for sure that there was nothing like weird subconsciously going on with the relationship, and that it was real.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
I don't have that. I'm not friends with most of my like party friends from New York and Chicago. I think the scene is just different. Those weren't neighborhood bars. They were like downtown clubs, and it's just a very different thing. It is much more fake. It's not a neighborhood hangout, you know?
Yeah. I definitely worked at places that were neighborhood hangouts, you know, and that's so true.
So don't go hit the club tonight, kids. Go to your neighborhood bar and hang out with your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how we evolved.
And I had really good jobs too. You know, I worked at places that were really good, and I remember. I mean, I had a great situation when I was at the ballroom, and I was running the whole show and managing it and showing up in my plaid pants and my, you know, velour dinner jackets, and everybody was like, who is this guy? You know, like, and I'm like, oh, believe me, you're going to get to know me and you're going to love it. So welcome in. But I was able to take breaks and run down the street to the live venues where the live music was going on. And I'd populate, like I'd go around and drop into like 4 other bars in the neighborhood, say hello to a bunch of regulars and stuff. And then that whole crowd, they'd end up circling back and coming back to the ballroom. Right. But I'd already gone out and seen them in different locations, you know, and it was kind of like a Pied Piper thing. It was like, oh, we better go to the ballroom and see Matt because he's out and about, you know. And I wonder if bring more business over into the ballroom. And plus I'd be like an hour of my shift would just be like going out and being out on the town. And that was like part of my job, you know, like was to be a man about town. It's a great gig.
Yeah. Tough life, bro. It sounds really, really hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Seeing lots of music.
Yeah.
Drink it for a living.
So shout out.
Hurt on the liver.
Shout out High Dive. Shout out El Camino, Red Door, Triangle, Nectar.
Yeah.
Bunch of stuff. And then all the Ballard spots not too far away. I'm sure you got over there occasionally too.
Oh yeah. Tractor, Sunset.
Bastille.
Bastille.
So, well, let's put a little list together on the fly here. Who's coming on the show?
Who's coming on the show? Well, this is what's going to be interesting is like, who's going to, like, there's certain people that I think will be
all over it.
And then certain people I'll have to nudge, wink, wink a little bit to get them to get a Zoom account on. And like some of my
Oh, they won't have to do. You don't actually need a Zoom account. You can just join
know?
somebody's meeting. Yeah, you only need the application, and you don't actually need an account.
So they just need to have an application. Okay. So
Yeah, they'll just download Zoom and
download
join.
Zoom, and then
It's
I
easy.
invite them on, and then
And they can join.
And now
Yeah.
we've succeeded already. We're doing this.
We're
right?
good. Yeah, I didn't need a Zoom account to be able to join this meeting. You just invited me, and I clicked a link and popped open.
And I was, yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I know that I'd love, like, just speaking to the California guys, Forrest, Sage, Dylan, Zion would be amazing.
Yeah.
He's one of the great talkers of all time, true poet. Ian. Those four would be probably the top of the list in terms of the California guys. Maybe Chris. There's a guy, used to be, I won't say his last name, but he'd be really interesting to talk to.
Let's do a very brief, we'll take an aside here, just do a brief recap of why you guys are all connected from the 70s and 80s in Northern California.
Yeah, well, it ties into the song I'm writing right now, which is, it starts off with a verse that says, 1976, driving to San Francisco. And that refers to our mom jumping in a Volkswagen van and driving to San Francisco with me as a 5-year-old. And showing up in San Francisco to really search for and decide on a way of life. She had been turned on by this guru figure, and she was looking for some. I think really being a searcher, searching for something that was going to make her life meaningful, something that she was completely turned on by, and she ended up staying in San Francisco and California, marrying your dad, my other dad. Since I always feel like I have two dads. That's how I say it, because I have Daryl and Peter.
Yep.
And they're both such fathers to me, so I always count them as my two dads. It's like a bad sitcom, My Two Dads.
Yeah.
But
it's much more common now than it was 20 years ago.
Now it's
everybody has two. You don't have two dads?
Two dads. I mean, yeah. Oh, this is your, yeah, it's like, that's how you do it, if you're doing it right.
Right.
But so when I moved to San Francisco, one of the first people I met was Dylan. And we were like 6 years old, and we became instant best friends, inseparable buddies. And his parents were also joining this community, this commune, this spiritual way of life with this guru. And
in San Francisco, with you guys like taking the trolley at age 6 to school.
I took the trolley to, yeah. So his parents were teachers.
Oh, nice.
So, and the school was called Rivendell. Or Rivendell.
Rivendell, yeah.
Rivendell.
Like from Lord of the Rings.
From Lord of the Rings. So you know right away what you're dealing with.
Yep. I didn't know the school was called Rivendell when it was in SF.
Yeah.
Because I went to Rivendell as well when they moved it to Sleepy Hollow in Marin.
You did?
Yeah. So they kept the name, I guess, and moved the school.
Yeah, it had a certain philosophy. Hey, look at this.
Giddy up.
Swan, cheers.
Swan Force. Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's chill our businesses.
Yeah. A couple business owners having a conversation. No big deal.
Yeah, this is exactly what it is. It's just another Gates and Zuckerberg session.
Just getting it done.
Yeah.
There's a little window. Woo. So yeah, Rivendell, 1976, 1977. I learned how to take the trolley car to work from a house on Masonic, and they hired like a little girl who was like 12 to walk me along the route to the trolley car stop, and then I'd get on the trolley car, go across town to Rivendell, walk to the school, which is another 3-4 blocks. If things were going really well, I had 10 cents in my pocket, or maybe it was 15 cents, and I'd buy a pack of baseball cards. That was my raison to existence, was buying these baseball card packs. I was so obsessed with baseball and baseball cards. And sadly, I got this really nice baseball card collection. And so did Dylan, although Dylan's collection was a little messier. He's always been a little bit more rambunctious, a little wild, and his cards were a little looser. Mine was a little neater, a little more organized. And at one point there was a problem, and somebody, one of the hellion little kids, little devils, was stealing baseball cards from other people. And so the teachers had a meeting with all the baseball collectors. There was like a couple of us pretty serious about it. And he said, okay, this is how we're going to solve this problem. I'm going to hand you out a pen, and on the back of the card, you just write your name on the cards, and that way we'll know whose cards are whose. So I took a black Sharpie and wrote in giant letters, M-A-T-T,
on all of your cards.
Of my cards, rendering them completely worthless as collectibles.
That's a shame. They're back now too.
And baseball cards are back, and I know. I was looking at, hold on a second.
We're gonna have to see a baseball card here. If I see like a Michael Jordan rookie card with MATT on it. Or actually,
that's what it was like.
It'll be even earlier. It'll be like late 70s. So, and it'll probably be baseball cards.
That was what was so crazy about it. Is they were like this
like
year's
a Reggie Jackson with a giant mat on the back.
1978.
Yeah.
This era cards.
Yeah.
And the runs batted in leaders, George Foster and Lee May.
Yep.
Great names. Anyway, I still have a few of them left.
But do they say Matt on the back?
These ones don't. I got rid of all the ones that say Matt on the
Matt.
back. I don't think I have any ones left.
Yeah, I remember you were still collecting cards in your teens. You had some good ones. I got into it for a little while.
Oh, look.
Definitely got soaked on it.
Ken Griffey on the Reds. Nice.
Blast from the past.
Yeah, I kept collecting, and eventually I gave the cards away. I also, when I was like 7, I had a little, I had a sweet little idea. I was a little entrepreneur, and I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make some really good packs of cards out of the ones that I bought and sell them on the sidewalk for like 25 cents a pack. But it's like doubles of good cards I had. So I had my own. So like, let's say it was an all-star Steve Garvey or something. I'd sell one of them, keep 3 of them because I had like multiples. And then I'd make these super packs of like really good cards, and I'd sell them out on the street. And I made my own little paper wrappings for them. And it was 25 cents a pack so that I could keep buying cards, but I was selling very valuable cards.
Right.
I didn't think it through. I wasn't a very good businessman at 7 years old, apparently. I didn't have it going on.
Oh man. It's like the guys that timed selling the exact peak of the Bitcoin rally at 30 cents.
Oh my God.
Crushed it. They just crushed it. They made like 100x their money. Sold right at the top, timed it perfectly, sold out at 30 cents.
30 cents.
Yeah.
Ouch.
It crashed from there. Just went way down. Just crashed. Yeah.
Jeez.
Perfect timing. Unfortunately, now it's over $10,000.
No, it's over 10 and a half, isn't it?
I don't know.
You don't even know.
I don't care. I'm stacking, bro. I'm stacking.
I'm stacking too, baby. I'm stacking sats.
Stacking sats.
Everybody's stacking sats these days. Everybody's so excited. Chemo is so excited about stacking sats.
I love it.
It's like,
yeah, Chemo, Matt's guitarist, is getting into Bitcoin. Started up a recurring purchase plan, buying Bitcoin every week.
Yeah. Kimo likes to be on the forefront of things. So,
yeah,
and he's always embraced technology
I
and
love that.
technological advances, and he's a forward thinker, that Kimo. I mean, I think that's why he's such an incredible musician, is he takes on every instrument, and he just has that curiosity of mind to be like, okay, how am I going to figure out this instrument and play it and make it sound beautiful? And he somehow always does. He's amazing.
Yeah, there's something special about people that just believe that if anyone else has ever figured this thing out, then I can too.
Yeah.
Right. It's like,
Yeah.
well, that instrument exists, which means like definitionally someone must have played it at some point. Right. And they're just a human. So we share like 99.999% of the same DNA. Thus, ergo, I should be able to pick this thing up and bang out a tune within the next 5-10 minutes.
That's right. That's right. You just get it going. And
I mean, if I just need to do rhythm section on this thing, then so be it. But like tomorrow, I'll figure out the whole strings and wood instrument part of it.
Yeah. He's incredible. I know I was listening through some recordings we made back in the day, and I'm just like starting to count. I'm like, oh, there's the sitar, there's the Chinese harp, there's the French horn, I mean, it just goes on and on. You know, he's just layering stuff in, and it's all like, oh, it's so cool. I can't wait to get some of that down on this next recording. It's gonna be
fun.
Little by little, he's bringing in more and more of his stuff over to Zach's studio, and Zach keeps rearranging the studio to make more room because Kimo's area is just growing and growing and growing and growing. It's awesome.
That's so funny.
So cool. But
the studio is just the best place to hang out, man. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Describe your evening hangout.
Well,
right now,
my evening hangouts are pretty sweet right now. I get to go over to Zach's house, which was the 1958 House of the Year in Seattle.
Oh my God! It should be House of the Year every year.
And it is my House of the Year every year for sure. They've got a pool that they keep at about 90 degrees. It's so awesome. So basically, I've got Margot, my 11-year-old, coming over. Luckily they have 4 children of different ages. So if you're a parent, there's a good chance that you could bring over a child and you'll have a friend for your child because they've got all these ages covered.
It's a wide variety.
It's a wide variety.
Although the youngest one, it seems like, mostly likes to hang out with adults.
The youngest one, Pac-Man. Yeah, Paxton hangs out in the studio, hangs around us a lot. He's like, he's amazing. But Margot has a really great friend to hang out with. She was in the pool for 3 hours with Zach's daughter, Charlie.
Oh, nice.
I'm no less than 3 hours. I mean, they just didn't stop. Having a great time while we were in the studio, and we can see out the window.
Yeah.
And just see them out there, and we're on the other side working on the recording project. It's just a great situation. Plenty of room. There's a ping pong table down there in case you need a break. Sometimes we need to stop and watch the Nuggets because I'm kind of obsessed with the Nuggets this year.
Yeah. I mean, it's a done deal now, right? Like they're down 3-1. They've won, basically. They always win the next 3 games.
I don't even know why they're going to play the rest of the series.
Just call it a day.
They've got them exactly where they want them. Like, exactly.
Can we take a quick aside and just talk about the Jamal Murray dunk and under from last night?
Yes, please. Dr. J move.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously everybody. So he went up like legitimately. You could see in his eyes that he wasn't faking. He was actually going to try to dunk.
Yeah.
But then LeBron was up there and was going to just like put him on a poster.
Yeah.
And he just pulled the ball down and didn't even go to the left side. He actually went all the way under and then back up on the right side. From a straight, like dead on approach. He was just going to dunk like basically straight the front of the rim. And so of course, then everybody's like, oh, that was Jordan-esque, harking back to Jordan versus
the Lakers.
It was Sam Perkins on that team? He was going to dunk on Sam, sort of.
But he almost didn't need to do it.
He didn't need to at all.
It was just a
show, right? So he was going to, ostensibly he was worried that Sam Perkins, who hasn't jumped to block a shot since '82, was going to block his shot. So he had to go like up and under and do this crazy thing, which was a nice display of athleticism, but it was theater.
But it was, I've always thought that. Yeah.
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 So yes, that Jamal Murray move was significantly better than the famous Jordan up and under.
Might it be the greatest basket ever made in the history of the NBA? I mean,
okay. So here's the thing. So I go on Twitter.
Yeah.
To have this argument.
Oh, good.
That's literally why I went on Twitter.
Yeah.
And somebody posted a video that they somehow found of Jordan against the Nets in another game, in a regular season game, going up, actually trying to dunk on somebody.
Yes.
From way further out, from a left 45-degree angle, and some giant white dude on the Nets like came out of nowhere and was there.
Okay.
And Jordan pulled it and flew about 6 or 7 feet further than Jamal ever did.
Okay.
And still put it in on the other end.
Okay.
So we're comparing it to the wrong one. And I was like very quickly disabused of any notion that Jordan isn't the most freakish person that's ever walked the face of the earth.
Well, that's good enough.
Nevertheless, that Jamal Murray was better than the famous Jordan up and under.
Okay. So there's diversion there. And then both, you can be satisfied with both results.
You can be satisfied with both.
Yeah.
Jamal's was better than Jordan's famous playoff up and under, but Jordan's best all
Jordan
time
still has
nothing like that.
Probably, well, good job, Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter is just the hive mind. I love it. I can't live without it.
Oh my gosh. But we were talking about how I know all these California guys too. I'll wrap that up a little bit, because one of the reasons we became so close, if you fast forward, 5 years from those San Francisco days, we went through a lot. First of all, a little brother was born.
Soon after,
which changed my life for the immediate better, because I was able to be a big brother, which was something that was one of the great joys of my life right away, as you can attest to, and and our family knows. I was basically taking care of you right out of the chute. Basically, I was like, "Oh, everybody get away! My little brother's here. I'm going to go ahead and take care and take charge of him. I'm going to train him every day to be the greatest athlete that's ever walked the planet. I'm going to make him have the most incredible amount of confidence." And it just turned out that you were naturally like the smartest motherfucker ever to grow up. So I had to deal with that. Which was
probably your fault. Those things are very path dependent.
Yeah.
They really are. And so, yeah, I actually think it's probably your fault. I could have used a little more on the athlete side, but you couldn't control the genes. I was just tiny as a teen. So
you were a little guy.
I was a late bloomer.
You were a late bloomer.
I was a normal child and then a small teen.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And then a giant adult.
And then became a gigantic adult. What size foot do you have? It's like
it's not that absurd. I'm 14 in Nikes and 13 in dress shoes.
They still look gigantic to me when I see them. I'm just like, oh, there's Cory's gigantic.
I don't have thick ankles, so there's like a little bit of an illusion going on there. Do you remember? Like, I think it was Sean Kemp had small feet. I remember that. Sean Kemp from the Sonics was always known for being like 6'10", but having like size 13 feet.
Really?
But he had such skinny ankles. He had like deer legs, right? With the giant calves that were like right next to his knee. So you never noticed.
No.
Anyway, so it's kind of like that. I have skinny ankles and big feet.
And big feet.
Yeah.
So then you're born in 1977.
Yep.
And then we go 78, 79, 80. So there's just some crazy years. We're close. We're a tight little knit family, but then we move up to Northern California.
Economy everywhere is going to shit.
The economy,
gold price through the roof, unemployment super high, interest rates 18%. Like everybody's leaving the cities.
I mean, we're about to move into Reaganism, in 1980.
Yeah.
Which is just a crazy sea change of this country,
Yep.
And then by 1981, mid 1981, I'm moving out of the house to go to the boarding school that the commune has decided is the best place for teenagers and budding and about to be teenagers to go, because we will be away from our parents. And
so
yeah, go ahead.
the 11-year-old daughter that you're helicoptering through the window as she's in the pool, making sure she's right there in your sight.
Yeah.
Same age as you were when you packed up 3,000 miles away and went to a boarding school in upstate New York.
Yes.
They bought a Catskills lodge that had gone bankrupt, and
it was it was a summer camp.
Okay.
In upstate New York, yeah, in the Catskills, that had fallen into disrepair, had been abandoned. And so no one had, like, the cabins were completely, there was holes in them. They weren't winterized or ready for winter. And we moved there in the summer, took over and started working on it because we were going to turn it into an ashram boarding school. And for me and all my friends, the adults and whatnot. Yeah, that was 1981. By 1982, I was living away from you and the family, and just visiting you twice a year for those years. So it was really, really traumatic. I've been recovering this whole time from that moment. It's really taken a lot of therapy, a lot of reflection, and a lot of work just to be okay with where I'm at now, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's a fascinating history, and it's one I like to share and talk about, because I think it is interesting, and for whatever it is, it made us, who we are now, and it's just part of our history. It just is what it is. And I'm so, like, if nothing else, I got being at that boarding school with that group of friends made us the tightest banditos. I mean, we are so close because we lived together on our own without our parents from the time we were 11 and a half to 16 and a half. And it was just this, Dylan and I were roommates in that little cabin, and we'll get into that again. I feel like that's launching into a whole other story.
I think it's
when I have Dylan on the show here.
I think you and I will probably do another one or more. It's pretty clear.
Yeah.
There's too much ground to cover. It's funny, man. Leaving, we moved up to Seattle in '86, which is also covered in California Bound. So we'll get to that part of the song later. And so I finished high school in Seattle '95 and left for undergrad 2,000 miles away in Missouri, and then went to go work in New York and Chicago, and didn't get back to the West Coast until after getting married and moving out here in 2013. So I moved here to LA in 2013. I guess I was 35. And so all that time back on the East Coast, I basically, like, only my closest friends would ever get like any hint of commune life in my history, and like even bother with that story. Yeah. And then I get to LA, and it's like, if your parents didn't grow up on a commune, like, were they fucking weird in the 70s? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, what kind of misanthropes were they if they weren't experimenting with shit about the Beatles and Eastern religion and meditation and yoga and all that kind of shit? Because that's just like, it's so mainstream on the West Coast, and especially in California. It's pretty interesting. I mean, all the brands that we grew up with are huge mainstream brands now. All of the things that we spend our time on are like, massive multi-billion-dollar enterprises now. The yoga and the meditation apps and all this shit that we grew up with. It's crazy.
That is crazy. That's a really good point. I'm a big believer in the historical perspective, and of what was going on when decisions were made, globally and locally, and I think that what was going on in the late 60s, early 70s absolutely spawned a lot of these lives. And some of it was really, really cool, and some of it was really, really bonkers.
Yeah. Yeah, we were on like somewhere toward the edge of the spectrum, I guess, as far as
and then some people were
way further.
Further.
It could have been way worse. Yeah.
It could have been. I mean,
it was for so many people, like our parents, Daryl, your other dad, and our mom are still together after all these years.
It's amazing.
And, we, like you still have all your friends pretty much from those years, like close to you. And, I emerged relatively unscathed because I was just so young, thank God.
Yeah.
And was, pretty well protected from the worst of it by you and then by mom and dad.
Yeah.
So, if I'm being honest about it and not looking at like the effects of growing up that way after the fact, if I'm being honest about like how it felt at the time and looking at those years in the community, for me, it was pretty idyllic, really. It was just like, it's kind of a lot of people's fantasies, especially now in the time of COVID and people trying to get out of the cities, and they're trying to like rediscover this like small town, strong town life with, creating these communities and looking to get back to the earth and all this shit. It's like, been there.
Yeah.
Been there. Like fucking, we had animals and, got to run around all day and had awesome teachers and, really, really strong friendships and all that shit.
Ate like the most healthy vegetarian diet.
Totally. Yeah. Probably could have used a little bit more protein, to be honest.
Protein might have been good. Yeah.
But our Aunt Gay just sent me a picture of our visit when I was like 12 or 14. And I often think that I was only skinny like after my growth spurt. It's not true. I was also skinny before my growth spurt.
We were a skinny community of people. There's no doubt.
I don't know what year this is. I look like I'm about 9.
Oh my God.
I'm either 12 or 14 here. I'm not sure which.
Look at that.
Yeah. And my arm is so
Holy
thin.
Smoke. You are one thin bean.
I know. Could have used some goddamn eggs at least.
So cute. Love it.
Pretty funny. Yes. So that was the community. Good times.
That theme will come back up, and if people have any questions,
oh yeah, you can leave comments.
Feel free to comment or leave questions.
Comment.
If you want to know about anything,
links.
If you're interested about anything, you have any topics you want me and Cory to talk about, leave them in the comments. We'll be happy to get right on that because we're kind of an action team. If you haven't noticed, we've got plans and we follow through on those plans. So get used to it.
Yeah, we didn't used to be planners, but after last week and all the inspiration of being around so many planners up in Leavenworth, we've decided that we're going to be planners now.
That's right. We saw the light. Property in the north, baby. Plan. Property in the north. That's right.
Awesome. Well, I think it's good to, we'll just wrap. We'll do another one. This is about an hour. It's perfect.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. I gotta
have an awesome day.
Thank you.
I love you
too.
So much, bro.
I love you, bro.
Thanks for the happy birthday wishes.
Of course. I wish I could have been there to give you a big hug.
Oh, we had plenty of big hugs last week, so
I know
those are filling me up, man. I'm all good.
Good.
But yeah, 43.
It's 43.
Anyway, well, when are you playing music again?
Most likely this afternoon.
Oh, nice. A little early session.
Afternoon session, which is kind of nice because it's just a different energy. It can be a little bit more productive. On certain things, like laying down some scratch tracks.
No Nuggets game on.
No Nuggets on.
Probably helps.
That helps.
Try to get Chris O to send me some files like as he's recording them.
Okay.
You know, and make sure he captures a lot of behind the scenes shit and like banter and conversations too, not just the performances.
Performances.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, we want a lot of random stuff.
We're definitely Chemo's out of town until through Sunday, and then we plan to get together on Monday.
Nice.
And Chris O's planning on coming over for that, so we'll have the whole band back together, and Chris O will be there, and we'll get some stuff.
Nice.
We'll get the program rolling.
Good. Fun. All right, bro. Well, love to see you. Have a good day. Love to the fam out there. Give Sharon a hug from me.
Will do.
Okay.
Love to yours.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
You can just do end meeting and it'll shut down.
Okay.